returning to play Beth and Mark Latimer. Joining the cast are Julie Hesman-Hylke, Georgina Campbell, Sarah Parrish, Charlie Higson, and Mark Baisley. The final 8 episodes of the show will be shot in Dorset this summer. Arthur Darvill will also return as Vicar Paul Coates, Carolyn Pickles as newspaper editor Maggie Radcliffe, and Adam Wilson as Ellie's son Tim. Executive producer Chris Chibnall said in a statement, "This is the final chapter of Broadchurch. We have one last story to tell, featuring both familiar faces and new characters. I hope it's a compelling and emotional farewell to a world and show that means so much to me." The first 2 seasons of the series saw Hardy and Miller investigating murders. Famed publisher Archie Comics has announced a new rebooted version of their classic series, Betty and Veronica. Revealed Monday, the revamped comic will star iconic Archie characters Betty Cooper and Veronica Lodge and is set to be written and drawn by famed comic book artist Adam Hughes. Hughes asked in an interview with Vulture, "Why is there a Betty and Veronica comic when they already appear in Archie? It's good to have a book where it's just about them, where the boys are just background characters." As with previous relaunches of their famed Archie series, this new Betty and Veronica hopes to bring in new readers with more modern art and stories. Hughes continued, "I want my Betty and Veronica to be timely and relevant, but not dated in 10 years. The plot of the first storylines revolve around the 2 women who have fought over Archie in the past, disagreeing over the closing of the series' beloved soda shop. The synopsis reads, Pop's chocolate shop has been taken over by a huge coffee company. When Betty and Veronica go head-to-head over the issue, all bets are off, friendships will shatter, cities will burn, nails will be broken. The 32-page first issue is set for release on July 20th and will feature multiple variant covers from artists such as Chip Zdarsky and Stephanie Buscema. In February, the CW announced that they had ordered a pilot for a live-action series based on Archie and Tile Riverdale, which would offer a bold, subversive take on Archie, Betty and Veronica and their friends, exploring small-town life and the darkness and weirdness bubbling beneath Riverdale's wholesome facade. The CW is bringing former Fox sketch comedy show MadTV back to primetime after a 9-year absence. The network has ordered a total of 8 hour-long revival episodes of the series, which originally starred Keegan-Michael Key, Jordan Peele, Michael McDonald, Bobby Lee, and Mo Collins. Deadline Hollywood broke news of the reboot, reporting it's part of a strategic move by the CW to beef up its late-night comedy alongside Whose Line Is It Anyways? David E. Salzman will again serve as executive producer. The series will reportedly reminisce about its 14-season history and feature guest appearances by the show's alumni. Neither the network nor the studio, Telepictures, has released a list of the returning stars. Salzman said in a statement to Deadline Hollywood, the MadTV franchise is as vibrant as ever thanks largely to social and digital media appealing to a fan base numbering in the millions that relates to the show's brand of authentic and irreverent cross-cultural comedy. He also added, we will continue to present the hard-hitting, laugh-out-loud, wall-to-wall pop culture parody our fans expect, but in a new way. News of the revival comes shortly after the CW aired a 20th anniversary special of MadTV that included 19 of the show's alum. Reality star NeNe Leakes will channel drag supermodel RuPaul during her performance on Spike's lip sync battle. The Real Housewives of Atlanta celebrity is seen dressed in over-the-top glamour attire as she performs Supermodel You Better Work during a sneak peek clip into Thursday's episode. Leakes will compete against Todd Chrisley on the show. Leakes' performance includes shirtless male dancers and drag performers. The crossover of RuPaul's song onto lip sync battle comes soon after the RuPaul's Drag Race host claimed the LL Cool J host Spike television competition was a poor ripoff of his own program. Speaking last month to Vulture magazine, the 55-year-old supermodel claims straight pop culture has deliberately lifted things from gay culture as long as I can remember, and that's fine. We have so much more where that comes from. Singer Cyndi Lauper and actor Harvey Fierstein have received the 2,577th and 2,578th stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The two Kinky Boots creators took to the walk Monday to receive honors in their color-coordinated attire while acting silly for the cameras. Monday's ceremony included a performance by stage actress Tiffany Egan, who plays Lauren in the touring class of Kinky Boots. Lauper, who composed the music and lyrics for the Broadway musical, won a Tony Award in in 2013 for Best Original Score. Fierstein was nominated for Best Book of a Musical at the same time. Speaking at the event, Lauper said she had always wanted to work with Fierstein, saying she was honored to do so. She said, according to My News LA, I've always had felt that he was a great speaker and a great leader, but he's also one of the great storytellers of musicals. Rob Kardashian commemorated his 50-pound weight loss on Instagram Monday, highlighting fiancée Blac Chyna as his motivation. Alongside a throwback photo of the couple in February showing Kardashian at his heaviest, the famous sibling to Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, and Kourtney Kardashian says he was, quote, focused and determined to keep going. He wrote, looking from where I started, 298 to my current weight now, 248.4 pounds. I'm focused and determined to reach my goal, weighing 205 pounds. Earlier this month, the 29-year-old keeping on with the Kardashians' personality revealed he and Blac Chyna, born Angela White, were engaged. The 27-year-old model celebrated her engagement opposite longtime friend and fellow model Amber Rose in Atlantic City over the weekend. The celebrities shared several photos of the festivities on Instagram. Chyna and Kardashian became publicly linked in January, soon after the famous family member was hospitalized and diagnosed with diabetes. Kanye West discussed the aftermath of his infamous stage interruption of singer Taylor Swift's 2009 acceptance speech, calling it the beginning of the end of his life. The Chicago-born rapper performed his controversial song Famous, which mentions the songstress 3 times in a row during a show at the Manila Paradise International Music Festival Saturday in the Philippines. West said about the 2009 Video Music Awards intrusion, according to Rappler, that night when I was on stage was the beginning of the end of my life. Lady Gaga canceled the tour the next day. You know the night I'm talking about when I just said what everybody else was thinking. West mentioned the incident after the second performance of Famous. It marked the first time the track from his Billboard-topping album, The Life of Pablo, was performed live. The rapper continued, so if I get in trouble for saying the truth, what's being said the rest of the time? And I had to fight every day of my life when the whole world turned against me for saying out loud what everyone else felt. In the track Famous, first debuted at the musician's album release party in February, West recites, I feel like me and Taylor might have had sex. I made that bitch famous. Watching fans' video of the performance and speech shows them reacting with enthusiasm. During his Philippines show, West cited what he believes to be an artistic duty as the reason for his 2009 outburst. He said, but that's the job of an artist, of a true artist. Not to be controlled by the finances, not to be controlled by perception, but only to be controlled by the truth. What you see, what you feel, and say what the fuck you feel. During one of his latest acceptance speeches soon after Famous release, Taylor Swift took aim at West for what many considered sexist lyrics. She said at the Grammy Awards, as the first woman to win Album of the Year of the Grammys twice, I want to say to all the young women out there are going to be people along the way who will try to undercut your success and take credit for your accomplishments or your fame. But if you just focus on the work and you don't let those people sidetrack you, someday when you get where you're going, you'll look around and you'll know it was you and the people who love you who put you there, and that will be the greatest feeling in the world. Ciara apparently can't even bring herself to say ex-fiance Future's name. The 30-year-old singer refused to name the 32-year-old recording artist while announcing the 2016 Billboard Music Award nominees with Ludacris on Monday's episode of Good Morning America. Ciara was reading off the Best Rap Artist finalists when she stopped speaking 2 names into the list. She can be seen leaning towards Ludacris as a physically dodging Future's name and resumed her task after Ludacris names Future. Many fans were amused by the incident, while others called Ciara petty in light of her engagement to Russell Wilson. She and the 27-year-old Seattle Seahawks quarterback got engaged in March after about a year of dating. The singer said of Russell in the May issue of Essence, I remember telling my friend the guy I wanted, a God-fearing man with very fun spirit who loves kids and who really, truly cared for me. I was very specific because I do believe you can have it all. She also added, my split from Future wasn't necessarily partly of my vision, but the moment I realized I was going to be a single mother, I had to reflect and reorganize my thoughts. I decided to trust that God had a plan for me and move forward one day at a time. Ciara and Future ended their engagement in 2014 after nearly 2 years of dating. The singer shares 23-month-old son Future Zahir Wilburn with Future and sued the recording artist in February for publicly criticizing her mothering capabilities. And now let's take a look at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this date in 1964, Sidney Poitier becomes the first African-American to win the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role as a construction worker who helps build a chapel in Lilies of the Fields in 1963. Poitier was born in 1924 while his parents were visiting the United States from the Bahamas, where his father was a tomato farmer. As a teenager, Poitier dropped out of school and returned to America to enlist in the U.S. Army during World War II. After his military stint, he became interested in theater and applied to the American Negro Theater in New York City. Rejected initially because of his strong island accent, Poitier trained himself in American enunciation and reapplied, this time successfully. He debuted on Broadway in 1946 in an all-black production of Lystrata, and by 1950 he was appearing in Hollywood films, beginning with No Way Out. By consistently refusing to play the stereotypical roles that were offered to him as a black actor, Poitier blazed a trail for himself and the performers who followed him. By the time he earned a Best Actor Oscar nomination for The Defiant Ones in 1958, his work in such films as The Blackboard Jungle in 1955 had made him America's first prominent black film star. With his historic Oscar win for Lilies of the Field, Poitier became only the second African-American to win an Academy Award. The first was Hattie McDaniel, who won the Best Supporting Actress category in 1939 for Gone with the Wind. McDaniel played Mammy, the tough but indulgent slave governess to the spoiled Southern belle Scarlett O'Hara. Critics of the film, including the National Association for the Advance of Colored People, the NAACP, later pointed to the role as an example of the typical black stereotypes that keeps Hollywood alive. When presenting Poitier with his Oscar statuette, the actors and Bancroft congratulated him with a kiss on the cheek, a gesture that caused a mild scandal among the show's most conservative audiences. Poitier took part in the most momentous kiss 3 years later when he and Catherine Houghton shared the first interracial on-screen kiss in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner in 1967. And as your entertainment report for Wednesday, April 13th, 2016, I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RYMELO, on Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.